Yo, what is good, my people? Welcome back to another great week of Twisted Transitions. I'm pumped about today. We got a few things that we're going to talk about. I got a few topics. They're not major topics. They're just topics that happened to me over the weekend. So, I like to share that with you guys and get you guys' thoughts on that. So that is good. I did throw a poll up in the chat. If you guys could just do me a favor. I just figured I would find another way to get you guys to still be interactive while, the show and everything is going on outside of asking questions. I want to be able to, just give you an either or. I did some of that on my Instagram yesterday, and last week I did something in the chat last week. So this week there is a poll in the chat. So if you just take the poll, just something quick, something easy to do while you are here today with us. So we got a lot of great stuff for you. I'm just going to let a couple more people come in. If you guys can just let me know whether or not my sound and everything is good, because you know how I do sometimes. Sometimes I come on this thing and I have zero sound and I have no idea that the sound is bad or the sound's not there. And then I get a text message from Mike. He's always telling me, hey, man, no sound. So if you could just let me know whether or not we sound good in the chat. If this is your first time here, make sure you hit the like button. Welcome. We always welcome new viewers if it is your first time here. If you are a returning guest, you know how we do. So we're going to get right into these things. And all right. So Daniel Rodriguez in the building. What's good? He says it sounds good. DJ G5 is in the building. He says what's good as well. So, all right. First of all, before I get started on anything, I did not know that this board had a Bluetooth feature. I mean, I guess I've always seen it right here, and I'm assuming that I could just take a device or a phone and filter in, some type of sound and stuff through here. But I think it's kind of trippy that it's Bluetooth. I think that it's dope. I would love to try this one day. I don't know. I'm not going to try that stuff right now, but it is kind of fire that it has a Bluetooth feature, man. Like, I need to start learning my equipment more. I need to learn all this stuff, because this is a powerful device, the Stream Deck right here, and this is a powerful device, the Rodecaster Pro. Like, this thing broadcasts fantastic. It does the job every single week, makes me sound all nice and crispy, which is good. Let's see here. DJ Romeo Great in the building. What's good? Okay. So, sometimes we have a time restraint and stuff in here. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and let's talk about last week. All right. So see how stuff is not where it's supposed to be. Now see, I'm supposed to be down there in the corner. All right. So last week I had a wedding, and it was a Sunday wedding. That already concerned me because it was Sunday, and you guys know that Sundays can be one of the most nerve-wracking days for a wedding, only because if people bring kids, which this wedding had, they're probably going to leave early because the kids have school the next day. If there's no holiday the following day, then you know that, people are probably going to leave early because they got to go to work the next day. So I'm always worried about Sunday weddings. And as you can see here, It was a decent amount of people. However, if you look to the right side closest to the barn, you see that there are some empty seats over there. And that's when I started to worry. When I saw this, I was a little nervous when I saw that, because I think she was expecting, close to like 100 some odd people. And I think we got about 70, maybe 60, 70, somewhere around there. And my guess was that people were just going to kind of come in, get dinner, thank them for a great day, and bounce. But I was mistaken. I was definitely mistaken, and we'll talk about that in just a second here. So I wanted to talk about my setup here. So for the ceremony, they needed as you can see, right over here, you can see that there is a microphone with the stand. So they had speakers who were going to come up and just say a little something to the bride and groom. Everything was going to broadcast through my eVerse 8. And then, of course, I had the ceremony set up right here. But this is the first time you guys kind of get to see it, because I don't advertise it, as much on the show or on gig logs, because I just don't focus on that. But you could see it right there. I'm off to the side. I'm completely battery powered with the Jackery battery. You can't see it there because I've got cases and everything covered there. But basically what I did was I connected a dual Phoenix microphone, the PTU 71, something like that. I hooked up one side of it and ran a mic over there. And then, of course, at my actual station and facility there, you can see that I've got two of the lapel Audio Technicas 3000s that are over there as well. Now, I tested this microphone multiple times before we started. And you guys know that you can even see it. I'll come back to this picture. You can see it right now, that when you speak into a microphone, just like this. You come up to the microphone and you talk right into it. I told everybody to please walk up to the mic and speak to the mic. Well, we had some shy people, guys. We had a lot of shy people, and they chose to walk up to the mic and talk to it from back here. Now, you guys know, and you can see the distance and stuff here in between. Now, you know that if you stand back from the microphone, you're not going to get crispy, clear sound in the mic. And that's exactly what happened. Everybody was real low. And if I turned it up, the next person would come up and would pretty much yell in the mic almost, because they would listen. And then the people behind them would soft spoken or way back here, and you can't hear anything. So it was aggravating. That part was definitely aggravating. And then during the welcome speech, parents of the bride were like, I gave them a handheld mic, my QLXD for sure, for my main setup. I gave them a handheld mic, and they stood in the middle of the floor and they talked, and they said hello, and it sounded really good. And they said, oh, good, a microphone that works. And I looked around myself, thought in my head, like, what? Like, the microphone you used outside, it worked. Okay, it's all good. I'm just going to let it go. I'm going to let it slide. I'm not going to bear down on it because I wanted to really bad. I wanted to say something. So let me just show you how I had it set up back here. This is just still the same setup now. The videographer, which is going to be one of our topics today. We're going to talk about the videographer, not this particular one, but most of them. He was hooked up to my line out, and then I had my lapels hooked into line 1, and then I had the Phoenix microphone hooked into line 2. So that you could see how that was hooked up, but that was easy to control. I didn't have really any problems. The power for the PTU 71 Phoenix mics was just run right down by the power button towards the bottom. So once again, everything was, you can't beat this. You can be put anywhere with this setup, literally anywhere. And this is where they chose to have me. I had clear sight to the microphone which was really good. The antennas with the Phoenix mic were really good as well. So I had great sound. Two things that really knocked my sound off. One is the fact that people didn't walk up to the mic. And two, it was really windy. Really windy. Like the wind just constantly blew. But big up and shout out to DJ Mike. That man saves me all the time. I called him right before my ceremony started, and I asked him about the settings that I had set on there, and he told me to take the bass out of the speaker and the wind would not come through the speaker like that. And sure enough, I took the bass pretty much completely out of the speaker, because I mean, they don't really need bass for anything. I didn't have to play any music. I was literally just a PA system. So I took all the bass out, and lo and behold, the wind was blowing heavily, but we could hear the officiant like he was standing right next to us. And that was beautiful. So big shout out to DJ Mike for always saving my ass when it comes to stuff like that. Big shout out. This is why I'm telling you, you guys got to know your audio stuff, man. I am still learning. You know, I would have just gone through that and been like, oh gosh, like, please, can we just get through this? And that's just going to be a struggle. I would have never known until Mike put that in my head, which is great. So that was that. And then here is the reception. This is my setup where I was set up in here. Now, the last time I was in here, I was set up over in the corner over there where I've got the green light in the corner over there. But this time we are head on, dead on, which I love. I'm right here in the center. I really kept things kind of minimal. You got the two 44 G2s, 5-panel facade, the two wash movers on gravity stands, and then I've got both S4s. There was no uplight, so I got both S4s lighting up the facade, and I had a few to spare, so you can see I just kind of put them kind of around the dance floor, which was great. I do have a clip from it. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Oh, that's not it. That's an old clip. Turn that off. All right, here's the clip right here. So you can kind of see... You can kind of see how the room was set up. Everybody on the floor, videographers and stuff there. One thing I have to say is that, you know, you definitely want to have the venue or the coordinator dim the lights as much as possible. You definitely want to, because not having the room dim down to its darkness, the darker the better. It just kind of takes away from it. And I did not like how much lighting was in there on top of my lighting. Yeah, my lighting was, you know, decently bright on here, but I really could have done more, if you understand what I'm saying. So that was them dancing on here, so they had a decent time with that. So I can't complain. Cannot complain. I was happy with the results, and they loved it. The time went by extremely fast. That's another thing with Sunday weddings. You know, most venues let you have it until 10 or 11. Sunday weddings, they're like, hey, 9 o'clock. And I'm like, hey, no problem. Like, we're out of here. So it didn't take me long to break down and get out of there. So there you have it. Now, this coming up week, in 2 days, I've got another wedding out kind of in that same area, just a street over. And as a venue I've been to multiple times. But these guys were definitely instrumental in a lot of the music. Let's just say that. They had their handprint and on a lot of the music. The vendors that I have this week are going to be fantastic this week. So stay tuned on IG for some behind the scenes stuff, which is great. So that is that. Let's see. Anybody else? I was always say to my bride and grooms, it's not how many people there is. It's who's there. DJ Wedding 75. Yeah, we're going to talk about that too. I'm glad you guys are bringing up some of this stuff, because we're going to talk about that. So let me get a drink of water and let's get into these topics. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, also, no, we'll do that later. Here we go. Okay, so I got to move myself out of the way here. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about how DJs should handle the elements. And when I say the elements, I mean like, you know, the winds, the rains, the everything here. So let me just tell you a couple of practices that I have. Okay. I check weather and stuff all the time when it like I've checked every single day this week to see what Saturday's weather is going to be like so I can properly plan for it. If you're not a DJ who does that, you got to become a meteorologist. You literally have to become one, because you will get surprised, to say the least. You will think it'll be one way. You think it's just any other day, but you will be surprised if you do not put on your meteorologist hat. I didn't this week, last week, as much as I should. I think I only checked it twice, and I would have known about the wind. Probably couldn't do anything about it. Only could probably just bring some wind guards. But I definitely was checking to make sure there was not going to be any rain, because at first during the beginning of the week it said that it was going to be rain. So thank goodness it wasn't. But I'll always make sure that I know if there's going to be rain, because now I have to tell the client we have to have a plan B, because I don't want to hold you responsible for if something happens to my equipment due to the weather. And even if they have a sheltered tent and stuff like that, like it has to be proper. It has to be properly put in place by professionals. The only reason I say that this is all a requirement is because if there's some type of leak somewhere and I don't see it, I don't catch it, and it, you know, it's falling on my equipment, that is still the responsibility of the couple in order to take care of that. I have to be in a space, and it's in my contract. I have to be in a space that will allow me to stay dry, and not have like direct sunlight. Like there's got to be some type of shelter. I know that when the winter and the fall events come up, it's not as much of a hassle, because the weather and stuff is not crazy. But in these hot summers, I would say these Aprils through the end of September, any event that is outside like that, I cannot be in direct sunlight. I just can't. My laptop will overheat. My phone will overheat, which is my backup. Any other laptop that I bring will probably overheat. I have yet to have my equipment do anything crazy because of the heat, but I don't like when direct heat hits my equipment. I just don't. I feel like it's going to damage it in some way. It's going to loosen something where it was tightened before. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I just always want to prepare myself for the worst, especially if I'm bringing out something that's crazy expensive. Like, you know, this image that I've got right here, you know, a lot of us have furniture, and if you, like, you know, I've always said I will not bring my tea stand out, to an event that is outside due to this very reason. You know, first of all, it gets filthy. It's going to get dirty. It's not made to be outside. I have a setup that can go outside that will be decent outside, but my setups, especially some of my better ones, are not made to be outside. I mean, my 5-panel facade, it would not have made it in that wind that was outside if I did have to be outside. Like, it would not have made it. And that's a big factor because, of course, that's covering up all my equipment. But if the wind keeps blowing it down and knocking it down, you know, it just loses its luster. It makes you look cheap, because, you know, everything, you know, you've got stuff falling down, even though it's technically not your fault. And I have to do stuff like take cords or take Velcro and like stick it to the side of my speaker so that it holds on to it. But if the wind's strong enough, it's going to take it anyway. So I would like to know what type of precautions that you guys take in your weekly setups and your thought process what precautions do you guys take against the elements? Do you have a precaution set up for too hot? If it's like 100 degrees and stuff outside, do you have something set up in your contract to let the client know, hey, I only can perform in these types of situations in this manner when the weather is not crazy? Do you have a range stipulation that you have to have a plan B? I know I do. And I also talk to the coordinators to ask, what is plan B? You know, what is the options that we have here? What's going to take place? Because I can't have my equipment get damaged. Otherwise they will be held responsible and I have to wait for that. You know, you don't even know how that's going to go. Trying to go back and forth with a client to try to ask whether or not they're going to pay, even though they sign a contract. You might even have to go to court, or, you know, just all kind of stuff. Like, you don't know when you're going to get that back. You have no idea. But yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what precautions that you guys take yourselves to be able to prevent yourself from having any type of damage from being outside in general like that. Because if it would have rained on that ceremony, it was a very good chance the day before that it was going to rain during that ceremony time. And we did have a plan B that it was just going to be inside. But when I got there, the sun had been out. It had been out for quite some time. Dark clouds did come over, but it was more windy than anything. There was no threat of precipitation at all. But if that sky would have opened up, I mean, thank goodness I would have just been able to grab and go. But the way that place is set up, it would have definitely taken me 2 trips, which means equipment would have had to sit outside. You know what I'm saying? Even, you know, unless you, of course, had help, but I didn't. It was such a small event. I didn't bring help. Is help something else that you put in your contract for just in case elements? So let me know in the comments and everything down below what you guys do as a precautionary measure. I would love to hear these, because I know what I have in mind. I've already told you some of the stuff that I keep in mind, but it's very important that you have this information in some type of document, because you don't want to just go up to a client and say, hey, my speaker blew. Like, could you know, you're going to have to take care of that. If they didn't sign any type of contract that says that, why would they be held responsible? I'm just asking. So let me know in the comments and everything down below what you guys think. And let me check out the chat and see if anybody says what they think. What do you guys think in the chat? Let me see here. Freddie After Dark, what's good? What's good from SoCal? What's up? What else I got? G. Kenny says place everything under contract. Put everything in contract. You guys, I hope you guys are updating your contracts on a regular. I really do. I think every year we learn something new that should probably be in the contract that we didn't have prior to that. And you should definitely be updating your files. You've got to. Something new always comes up, right? All right. Next topic. Let's go to the next one here. You guys make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button while you were here. Let's see if we can at least get 15 likes before we get out of here today. 15 likes is the goal today. All right. Let's see here. I've got a really good last couple of topics here. All right, let me move myself out the way here. Okay, so I heard on another DJ's podcast recently, they said something pretty interesting that I thought about, and I said to myself, when is it do I take more risk? When it's less people or when it's more people? The only reason I'm asking this question is because if you've got a room of like 200 people, or if you've got a room, I'm not really going to say kids because kids are always funny. So not a prom, but you got a wedding that's 200 people. If you've got a wedding that's 200 people versus a wedding that's 60 people, which one are you more or likely going to take chances on? Are you going to give your normal set and routine to the 60 people? Or are you going to give it to the 200 people? See, my thing is, I think that in some cases, when you don't have as many people, but it's got to be low. It's got to be really low. I think with 60 people, I'm going to give them my routine. I think if there's 60 to 70 people, I'm going to give them a routine. I'm going to give them, stuff that I know works, because I'm limited on how many people are going to be able to dance. Now, if there's only, 10 people in the room, I'm going to take every chance I can possibly take. Try out all different kinds of stuff. I'm not going to take as many risks with 60 or 70. If there's 200 guests, 150 or 200 guests, I've had 300 people weddings before. So those are interesting. But 150 to 200 people, I think I'm going to probably take chances there too. The reason I would take chances there too is because there's more chance of me hitting on that chance that I took. Does that make sense? Like, okay, let's say I took a risk and played a song I don't normally play, or a risk of a song that I haven't, put into rotation and stuff in quite some time, and I'm wondering whether or not it's going to hit. In most cases, when you've got that many people, you can probably hit at least 15 to 20, maybe even 30 people if it's a okay risk. If it's a risk that turns out as a banger, you're going to get in the hundreds that's going to stay on there and dance to it. But if you're taking a risk and it's a low risk and it's like, oh, it may work, but it's just kind of okay, you'll probably still have about 20, maybe 30 people, still trying to vibe to that. And you probably just want to get out of it at the first course. A problem that I've been running into a lot lately is I've been doing so much quick mixing lately, going in and out of songs until it's become kind of a habit for me to do that. And then when I go on Twitch, I'm like, it's hard for me to sit and wait for 2 verses of a song. And I have to break myself out of that, because every event is not going to want a quick mix. I know that these brides are coming to me now, and every single Zoom meeting, they want me to hit songs. They want me to throw as many songs at them as I could possibly get. And they want mashups and mix-ups. And sometimes I get kind of embogged in that, and I need to be able to switch it up. Those chances that you're able to throw in here and there, those are the ones that you have to find out whether or not it's going to hit. But you have to sometimes I only find that out if I'm playing a different type of gig. Like if I'm playing something other than a wedding, because I don't know. I feel like sometimes when I take a chance at a wedding, that if I bomb on that one, if I lose the floor, then that means I just have to build it all the way back up. And I hate losing the floor. I hate it. I can let a few people come off and some people come back on. That's fine. But if I take a chance and it clears the floor, that's a nightmare for me. I just hate rebuilding. I also hate starting off dance floors and people dancing to like the first 2 songs and then the floor clears. I hate that. I hate that. I absolutely hate that. I've had some slow starting dance floors. I really and truly have. I think that when you take a chance with a large crowd, I just think that as long as it's within the scope of other stuff that's already worked, you should be good. So if you're playing oldies and you're at 125 BPMs, throw in an oldie, a chance oldie, 120, right around 125, whether it be 120, 130 BPMs, but make it an oldie and take that chance, because 9 times out of 10, you're going to be able to quick mix out of it if it doesn't work. You give them a verse and then you come out. I had this problem when it came to Gimme, Gimme, Gimme. I know you guys know that by ABBA. When that song was hitting, and it still is hitting, but when that song was hitting for everybody else, when I played it, people looked at me like, what is this? You know, but I knew it was popular. I knew people were going to ask for it eventually. I was just trying to be a front runner in my area and try to put it out there. But I always had a song ready after that to come out of the first verse right after she does the chorus. I'm like ready to come out of it because people weren't vibing to it. They just weren't. They kind of looked at me like, ugh. They did the same thing with Murder on the Dance Floor when it came out. When I was playing that in its early stages, you know, when it was on TikTok and it was big, when I played that in its early stages, people kind of looked at me like, ugh. But as it gained popularity, it fit right into the rotation. Same thing with Lil Boo Thing. You know, it did the same thing. So I'm not saying that those are chance records. Of course, you want to implement those in your sets, because those are popping off on social media and there's a good chance that your audience has seen it. I'm just saying, have something ready. Have something ready just in case, because it may take a few gigs for your chance to catch on. I know when Nick Spinelli was challenging everybody to, you know, step out and put some different rock and stuff in, you know, I took chances with rock music. I'm not a fan of it. I don't know a whole lot of it. I know the ones that I know, but I don't know enough to grab one and try one. So, you know, I've tried some different rock songs and I'm always ready to come out of it. You know, I'll play one that everybody knows. I'll play a chance song, and then I'll hit them with one that everybody knows, just to make sure I cover my tracks. And now some of those songs are in a 3-part rotation. So I'm in my rock portion of the evening and I've hit 3 back to back. And what I thought was a chance has now become a part of my rotation. So that's why I say, you know, you're still going to want to take chances, but you're going to take chances with larger crowds. Be careful taking chances when you're 60, 75 people deep, because if you lose, what have I always said? If you have 60 or 75 people attending a wedding, probably only about 20, 25, maybe 30 at most will dance all night. And if you take a chance with them and you lose that floor and you've got like 4 or 5 people, it doesn't look great. It doesn't look great. You definitely don't want that. So let me know in the comments what you guys think below, whether or not, how do you estimate your chances? Do you take them with larger crowds? Do you take them with smaller crowds? Do you time it out? I mean, do you even care? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below so that I can just kind of get an idea, a filler for what you guys think. That was my philosophy on it. That's how I play music. I always watch my floors and I know where I can take risk at. I know when I can take big risk, and then I know when I can take, especially a requested risk, because a requested risk is, you know, a requested risk is when somebody comes up to you and say, hey, this right here is like, it's going to make the dance floor explode because this was our such and such from back in the day. And you're like, ooh, you know, I don't play that and stuff, but you throw it in there and it's like one of those that could kill the dance floor or could ignite it. So I definitely calculate where I want to do stuff like that. All right, let's check the chat out real quick before we hit the last topic. You guys be thinking of questions that you may have at the end of the show. If we've got enough time at the end, I'll do a quick Q&A with you guys, and then we'll get out of here for the night. But let's check the chat here. So Romeo Gray says 200 guest wedding gets the routine because your routine got you the gig. Therefore, you know you're going to help them vibe. What do you guys think? I can see why he would say that. It's the safer of the two. I don't always play safe though. Not always. Okay, let's put that there. All right, Kevin Sounds, couldn't agree more, Jay. I will admit it is a bit tough when you're consistently playing for low numbers on a regular basis. It is. And I know that because I used to have strings of 60 to 75 people weddings. I used to get excited when somebody say 100. Now, like 100 is the norm. But yeah, it's tough, man. It's definitely tough. You might have to find another gig to test some of that music out at. Yeah, that's true. Let's see here. All right. All right. So let's get into the last topic. Okay. This one's big, guys. This one. We got to talk about this. I've got some stuff to pull up here. All right. Let's talk about this. First, I want to ask, does anybody see anything that I'm going to talk about right off the bat? Does anybody see it? Can anybody see what I'm talking about? I'm just going to look at the chat here for a second. Just 1 second, just to see if anybody can see it. Anybody can tell? All right. I'm not going to hold up too much on that. So I'm going to move my box up to where the problem is. Okay. This right here is a problem. This has become a problem. It is a problem for me. And, you know, I used to only see a couple of videographers have this, and now it's becoming more of a staple. Let me show you what this looks like in real time. So the homie DJ Mike goes in there, and then there it is. You see it? There it is. There it is again. That's me over there rocking it, but look. Look, you can see it through the leaves up there. You see it? DJ Mike's going to walk in again, and right there, as soon as you walk in, this is a problem. This light right here is a problem. It brightens up the dance floor. It takes away from your lights. And then, God forbid, you have letters at your event. If you have letters at your event, and the videographer has a light, you might as well not even bring DJ lights. You might as well not bring any lights. That video that I just showed had both of these. It was the letters and the videographer had lights. I cannot tell you guys how much this pains me. I cannot tell you guys how much this pains me. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about videographers with lighting. I'm going to have to start asking very, very nicely. Look, I know why videographers have lighting. Before I even get into what I'm going to have to start doing, I know why videographers have the lighting. I know it looks great. You know, for your videos, you don't want dots and you don't want colors and stuff on the guests for the video clip. But you have to remember, you are only providing a portion of the video to the couple. Now, I know that is broken down from film and all that stuff, but I have a job to do too. I have to light up the dance floor, and I have to keep the energy high, and I'm already battling the venue lights. I'm already battling the letter lights. I don't want to battle the videographer light too. It is pointless. It is pointless. People always will dance and give you their all on the dance floor if they feel like they are in a club lit like atmosphere. Think about if you go to a bar and they have dancing. There's not some spotlight that's on you that shows what you're doing. When you go to prom, when you go to a club, When you go to any one of these, there's not some freaking spotlight. But I know why you do it. I know why you do it. Because if I were to do this right here and turn one of these lights off, look at how different it makes me look. I understand you're trying to capture video, so you need this light because it lights up both sides of my face. I get why you need it, but it is the worst thing to a DJ that's trying to light up the whole dance floor and you've got this monstrosity up here. Back to what I would do. I'm going to have to politely ask videographers not to use that light. I may even go as far as to, in my consultation with my couples, ask the couples whether or not they have a videographer. And if they do, if they wouldn't mind telling the videographer to please don't bring some bright ass spotlight. Please. I just showed you how that could change the room. I showed you how letters can change the room and how the venue's lights can change the room, how the videographer's light. I mean, look at all these things that we are fighting as a DJ. Why did I bring all these lights? Why did I bring all these movers, all these wash lights? You can't even see my lights whenever those lights are up. It has to be taken down. It has to be. You videographers, I love you to death. You guys, look, a videographer made the video that is on my website. He was very kind, but he did not use one of these spotlights at that event. I love videographers. If a videographer is watching this and you feel offended, I do apologize. But I'm going to have to ask you to please turn that light off. If I don't bring dots, you don't bring lights. That's just going to have to be something. That's going to be something we agree on. Because just like in the Sandlot, you are killing me, Smalls. You are killing me. That light is always pointed at the audience or at the crowd, and they are in full lit mode. Full lit. I mean, my movers go through that light. It's like they'll go all over the place, and then right when it gets to that light and trying to, go through that light, it disappears. And then it comes back whenever it goes out of that light. Like, y'all have got to turn that off, man. Y'all have got to turn it off. I've had so many gig logs. I've had so many gig logs where I have recorded all this great content. Like one of the gig logs that I'm working on was from the event that had those letters that I showed. And you could see how the room is just different because of that light and because of those letters. Because to me, it's like when the dancing starts, why do we need the letters anymore? The letters are supposed to be for effect during dinner, for effect during last dance, for effect, for when people come in to see the room. Like, that's what those letters are for. Once the dancing starts, we should be able to unplug those letters. Why do we need those? Why? I absolutely hate those letters. And now I have added the videographers. Photographers don't even use these things, for God's sakes. They'll use a flash, and I'm good with a flash, but not a light that stays on the whole time. I mean, look at this. You can even see at this event. Look at how lit these guys are. Not drinking wise, but just look at how well lit they are. Some of these people who are capturing some of these reels and stuff right now, they're holding those lights on those people, or they've got one on a stand and they just happen to catch somebody dancing in that area. That's too much light. That's too much light. I'm trying to create an atmosphere, and I can't do that with that. So if you are with me and you think that videographers should turn that light off, please let me know in the comments down below. Let me know if you deal with the same problem I do, or am I just an old stickler because I've been doing this for so long. Me, myself, I love when it's dim in the room, but it is tough with those things, man. Let me know in the comments and everything down below whether or not this is an issue for you. And do you have something in your policy or in your contract that says, hey, videographer can't use that spotlight? Look, I give the videographer everything. I give them audio. I give them audio for ceremony. I give them audio for reception, for speeches. I give them a lot, and I don't mind giving it to them. I don't. But you got to give me this. You got to give me this. I cannot have this anymore. Sorry, I had to talk about this because all of this happened this past weekend. This show is literally dedicated to this past weekend. Literally. Let me know in the comments and stuff down below if you agree. I can't take it. I can't take it. What's good? The homie DJ Bar in the building. What's good? What's good? Man, Bar, we're just talking about those videographers' lights and stuff, man. Like it absolutely kills me to have those bright lights that videographers bring. They just leave them on, and you're trying to create this whole dance setup thing, man. It just sucks. It just sucks. Let's see what the chat and stuff has to say about that. So Gary says here, my contract says the couple is responsible for all damages to the equipment, and they have to provide a 10 by 10. Oh, okay. So that was with your speakers. Let's see. Ratbone 2001. I make them cut that ish off during the dancing and push back. At any pushback, I make sure to get in their shots on purpose. Oh wow! So it's like a battle with you. It's the same reason that they take an hour 30 during a cocktail hour. They don't give a crap. Well, I'm not going to say that because there's a lot of great videographers who do get what I'm saying. And then there's some ones that are from out of town, and this is how they get their business. And it just, Romeo Great, definitely a request can be made to the videographer that the lights to be turned off when they're not taping. Well, I mean, I don't want them to have to go on and off, on and off. I just think that they should capture a couple of moments and let that be it. Like, don't have it. I mean, these lights are on the entire night, and that's what kills me. It's on during my entire set, and that's what kills me. I can't stand that. Let's see here. DJ Eric, I honestly think it would be a losing battle with videographers because they would just tell you the light is it is a necessity for them to use to provide a great video for their clients. Well, what if I told them that I can't perform because I'm not giving them the atmosphere that they asked me for? Would that supersede that? Who would win in that battle? Let's see. DJ G Kenny. Book club, you know what? Oh, okay, my bad. How about you see the light? What do you know? I have no outputs for you, videographer. Oh, you want me to play that dirty game? Oh no, I don't have any outlets now. I mean, I don't have any outputs for you to be able to tap into now. Wickman 2A, man. Hey, look. As long as you're here, yeah, that's all I care about, man. As long as you're in the building, that's all that matters. Mr. 20K Bar. Oh yeah. You guys saw Bar's video today? And the homie is back, man. He just put out a video today. If you haven't checked it out, must check it out. I think he said he spent like 20K. Y'all heard him on the show here recently. He spent like 20K on his setup, and it looks amazing. I'm not gonna lie, he's got me thinking about adding 2 movers. I would probably do 2 washes because I think he's got the newer versions of, I've got the 4Zs, but I don't want to do washes and 4Zs. I would want to do probably 4 washes, but I love the way it looks. It looks great. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Latest video for Bar is out now. Let's see. Kevin Sounds, also for anything outdoor, I just throw a 10 by 10 in the car. pain in the butt, but you just never know. Well, look, I could throw a 10 by 10 in. I think I bought one because there was 2 events that I thought I was going to use it for, and I never used them. So it is still brand new in the bag. I think it's 10 by 10 or 10 by 20, one of the two. And it's just out in the garage. I don't even use it at all. But I figure that one day I probably will use it. Better to have it than not need it. Bar, sometimes they tell me to dim my lights. Seriously, see that right there. Like, look, I can work with the photographer and videographer when it comes to formal dances. I don't have a problem there. I will put on whatever setting you need to capture that moment. Also, with the last dance without guests, I don't have a problem there. I will put on what you need to capture that moment. When we are doing the reception, the dancing portion, it's time for you to reciprocate that back. Like the courtesy that I'm giving you on those moments, you've got to give that courtesy back. You cannot, it's not really destroy, but how about distract? You cannot distract my dance floor. And I know I call it that, but like this is our only moment. Like, we have literally been standing and standing and standing all day to get to this moment. And now you've got the searchlight on the floor. Like, you're going to have to give the courtesy and stuff back, man. It doesn't make any sense. It's crazy to think that after all this time and all these videographers that have come and gone, because I rarely see the same one twice. So they were not using it before, but I think too many DJs had lights that were not appealing or that did not cater to the video that they were trying to provide, like maybe having dots or maybe having, other kind of stuff as far as lights on them. And now all of a sudden they were like, well, you know what? In order to block all that out, I'm just going to bring this big ass light and I'm just going to have it on, leave it on. And that way I can get any shot I want. That irritates me to a very high degree. It really does. So I usually have to have some type of talk with them. I really do. I really do. This guy this past week, I let it slide because it was a Sunday. I let it slide. But if this was a crazy one, like what I anticipate these next 2 coming up to be, we're going to have a little sidebar. Wickman 2A, do you still use your wash lights or do your wash movers pretty much replace them? I use them for smaller events. I still have them. My Wash Effects 2s, I love them. They are by far one of my favorite lights. It's just that they didn't suit the wedding setup that I eventually wanted to go to. So I have removed them from my wedding set completely and probably will not return to them for wedding sets. But for other gigs that I'm doing, maybe corporate events or something like that, I may throw them back in there. I'm not done with the Wash Effects by far. Mellow T Music, audio company charges $175 for video guys to tap in their audio mixer. Should DJ start doing? Should we charge for them to tap in? I don't know. That would be that's kind of along the lines of being a little petty. I could be a petty Betty, but that's something that you have to negotiate prior to. I don't think that it's that necessary. I just don't think that as much courtesy will be shown if we can't even agree on the lights. And I hate to do that because there's so many good vendors. There's just a few who mess it up. I guess they could say that the same thing about the DJ world. I just picked up a pair of ADJ Eliminator Mega Wash 24s. Them suckers bright as hell. I believe it. I believe it. I think I was looking at those lights at one time. Did he gotta get addressed on? Oh, yeah, we may talk about that. Who knows? Bar trick I use is to tell them that the bride told me that they wanted the lights off. They'll shut it right off. Hey, I am willing to use any trick in the book, and that's a great one. Because as soon as you tell them that the couple says, hey, you got to cut that shit off, all of a sudden, everybody starts falling in line. except for the photographer. The photographer will give you a little pushback, but not these videographers. They will back off. And so I may have to do that on my next one. When all these, wait a minute, Jay with all these music dudes. Music dudes. Help me out, G Kenny. Let me see what you're talking about. I'm cool with them using it. I'm just not cool when they have it on all night. That's what I say. I say use it in spots. Use it in a couple of spots. Like, you know, maybe my first 10 minutes of my set, if I got them up and jumping, go ahead and use it then. But turn that off for a good hot minute, and then, you know, turn it back on if you want to capture a little bit more, you know, maybe towards the middle, and then turn it back on at the end. I mean, how hard is that? I'm sure you got it plugged up. Even if it's not, you drop the stand down, and then you could just turn it back on. I definitely give them that suggestion. Like, you don't have to keep it off, but for the majority of the dance set, please turn it off. I seen them walk away and just leave the lights on, and they are not even shooting. That right there is a killer. It makes me want to go over to the light and just unplug it, or go over to the light and turn it and let it face the wall. Because if you're not shooting, you might as well, you know, shine it at the wall. Maybe that's another option. If you don't want to turn it off, shine it at the wall. Not at any wall I'm at, just at the wall that's probably close to. Something like that. Kevin Sounds, it really just comes down to communication. I don't mind helping the videographer, photographer with whatever, but if you want a surefire way to piss me off, go plugging into my stuff without asking. Oh yeah, I've never had that. I've never had somebody disrespect my equipment like that. I think that is a form of disrespect, because, you know, I don't grab your camera and start filming. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know the communication and stuff is great, and I try to communicate as much as I can. I'm a chill dude when it comes to weddings and things of the sort, for you to be able to come over and ask a question, or we scratch each other's back, you know, hey, let me make sure you get this shot. Let me turn my lights white so that you can get this shot. And let me make sure my movers aren't moving. Do you want the lights on or off? You know, I'm pretty catering to other vendors. And like I said, I just want the same courtesy back. Don't be an ass and stuff if I've been dropping you this courtesy. You know, it's just one of those things. One of those things. Let's see. Oh, G Kenny. Yeah, we're going to have a whole conversation about that. Wickman 2A, what if they set their lights up on your photo booth? Well, I mean, I already got a flash on the photo booth. I mean, I really don't need lights on the photo booth. I mean, I guess they could. I wouldn't advise them to go over and do anything with any equipment that I have. How about that? Let's just keep it like that. I think that just makes it easier if they just steer clear. You know, just steer clear. All right, so we got a little bit of time right here. We'll do about 10 minutes of Q&A. So let's go ahead and do that. Any question that you have, just go ahead and put an ask in the chat right before your statement, and we'll go ahead and get that going. Let me also tell you, while we wait for the questions to come through, that next week we should be back. There's 1 week coming up that I won't be on. I think it's in October. It might be the first week of October, but next week we should be back. I tried to go live today from the Twitch room. That wasn't doing too well. I don't have a chair that sits up high enough. But I probably will be going on Twitch tomorrow. I did go last week. If you guys missed the Twitch set last week, you missed a good one, because I did an R&B, like a upbeat R&B set, and I did 2 hours of R&B on Twitch. And now I need to record it. So I will be on Twitch tomorrow probably from 12 to 1 or from 1 to 2. One of the two. But yeah, if you have not if you have not subscribed for that, make sure you do so. Let me give you those real quick. Twitch right here is DJ JayBook. Everything's real simple. Instagram, if you want to keep up with all things current me, you can check that out as well. And then, of course, if you want to hear some mixes from me, definitely go to my Mixcloud. That workout mix that I put up there, it got some traction. It got a little bit of traction. It says that I'm #1 on the Southern hip hop, whatever it is, topic. So if you type in Southern hip hop, my workout mix will be the first one that comes up. I listened to it again today. It sounds great. So I would definitely encourage you to check it out if you need to. The link is down in the description below. So definitely check that out. All right. Let's look and see if there's anybody has any question. Like I said, we got I'll probably do about 5 or 10 minutes and then call the night, because Thursday night football is about to come on and I'm game for that. Let's see, anybody. If I don't see a question within 2 minutes, then we just gonna go ahead and wrap up and be done. Any questions? Any questions? This is the time to ask them, guys. You know, this is, oh man, I did not hit on my sneakers on Hibbert Sports. God dog it. Now I'm gonna have to get those mochas. I'm like a baby sneakerhead, and I didn't hit on the Jordan 1 low mochas. So I'm gonna have to get them another way. I'm trying to get those Amaminiers on tomorrow or Saturday. And if anybody got a hookup with Travis Scott's, I would love to get at least one of those. Okay, Wigman 2A. I probably just need to stop saying 2A, right, Wigman? I just need to say Wickman, right? Wigman asks, how many lapel mics do you typically rock with your ceremonies? Well, let me go back and show you. Let me see if I can go back to images here. Right here. There it is. You can see it right there. So I got 2 lapels in my case over there, and I've got a power conditioner from StarTech. I've got a Yamaha MX or MGX or MXG, something like that, 06 as the mixer, and then I've got 2, the actual lapel packs. You can see one on top of the box and the other one below. And then it just all runs into my speaker right here. Whoops. You can see me right there. This particular case, I had to have the microphone to hook in it as well, a separate microphone. So one line for the 2 lapels goes into line 2, and then the microphone went into line 1, I believe. And then the microphone on top is actually being charged by the eVerse 8. All right, let's move myself back. All right, I just scored on the Classic Royal Blue foam posit. Yeah, I saw those. I saw those on there, and I'm not a foam posit guy. I just know I'm not. I'm not a foam posit guy at all. Let's see here. I currently have the Sennheiser EWD, but am considering upgrading to the EWDX so I can have 2 channels. That's what's up. That's what's up. Daniel Rodriguez, what happened to taking the Tuesday spot? Well, here's what I keep running into. Now, don't laugh at me, guys. Okay, this is what I keep running into. Every time that I want to do a Zoom call with my couples, I ask them, would they like to do? I try not to put it on Sundays because I'm watching football, and I would hate to be in the middle of a game and have to go do a Zoom call. So I asked them if they could do Monday or Tuesday. Guess what day they always pick? Tuesday. Guess what time they always pick? 12:01. I mean, it's the same thing every single week. I am trying to get to that slot. I literally am. Second option may be during Aaron Strawn's time. I may go live during 12:01 on Wednesdays on Twitch, because that's an option also. Maybe I should try to do Mondays. I feel like Mondays Mondays may be an option as well. I really wanted Tuesdays. I felt like if I do a show on Tuesday, a show on Thursday, it gives a good breakup. It's not as much on me to produce. Let's see here. Boy, now all of a sudden y'all got the questions coming through. DJ KP, which is better for ceremony? A handless mic or a hand mic? Up north, they'll tell you that it is a handheld. But down here in the South, to me, I love lapels. I think it's easy. I think there's less adjustment. You don't have to fidget with stuff. People, don't spit on your mic, because the whole time you talking, spit's coming out of your mouth and getting on the microphone head and all that stuff. So it's just easier. It's just easier, in my opinion. At least in the South. You guys, you can chime in on that if you want. DJ Eric, what is your policy and how do you handle being harassed, bullied at a wedding? First of all, you guys haven't seen my size. Ain't nobody harassing or bullying me. Now, I will tell you, I have been tried by drunk people, but I just, kindly tell somebody who is close, hey, could somebody come get him? And, he's saying a lot of stuff and he's intoxicated. Same thing with a woman, too. If they're drunk, I have somebody assist with removing them. But nobody tries me and nobody will dare bully me. I do not have a whole lot of bridezillas. I have had them in the past and it's actually been pretty easy to work with them. But nobody bullies the book. I have in my contract as well, I will ignore it if it doesn't work, and we will go to the client and let them know. Yeah, I just kind of let the people know because usually they're not there by themselves. Usually they're there with somebody else, and that person is totally embarrassed because their significant other is acting the damn fool. So if that's the case, I just let them know you need to come get them. And I don't say it over the mic or anything like that. I just signal them over just like this right here. And they come over and I'm like, look, you're probably going to have to get him. He's running into my stuff. He's saying certain stuff. Or same thing with she's doing certain stuff. So if you can just, like I said, again, it helps being my size. It definitely helps. Definitely helps. Wickman, have you ever felt like the 44 G2s weren't able to handle an outdoor event? I haven't had the 44 G2s in a lot of outdoor events, but I haven't had that feeling yet. Stay tuned though. I have a couple of outdoor events in March of next year. So we'll see, but I haven't really had any issues with them. All right, let's look at the poll before we get out of here and see. So I asked you guys, I said, which one do you guys prefer? Do you guys prefer moving platters or controllers? 62% of you guys said that you prefer controllers. Just thought, I was just curious. You guys like the controllers. You don't like those moving platters. I can understand that. If that's not your cup of tea, I get it. Me, myself, I absolutely love the moving platters. Maybe I need to pick up the 1000 again just to make sure that I could still do what I do on those. But like I said, I just feel like I needed another challenge. The way my brain works is like, once I've got something down, I don't want to get bored with it. I don't want to get bored with it. I don't know. You can learn a lot of stuff, but I just wanted a learning, something that's going to be really challenging to me. And trust me, moving platters has definitely been a challenge. All three styles that I have definitely been a challenge. A challenge that I gracefully accept. All right. So I think we are all good and stuff here now. I've been thinking about outdoor events possibilities, and although I still plan on getting the 44s, I've had thoughts on getting some point RCL. Oh yeah. Yeah, look, do your homework. Listen to them if you can. Listen to them if you can. RCFs have come quite some ways, man. I mean, I remember when RCFs used to just kind of just be like an afterthought. Nobody would really take them seriously. And now, all kinds of DJs are using them. Clubs, event places are using them. They have just definitely come a long way. Yeah, fantastic. All right. Oh, man. All right. Well, thank you guys again for another great show, man. I always appreciate you guys coming out. Again, we'll be back next week, 7 p.m. EST, right here on Twisted Transitions. Thank you guys so much for always sticking with me. I promise you we've got some new stuff coming. Events are coming. Cannot wait to talk about what happens this weekend. If you got an event this weekend, make sure you absolutely drop jaws. Definitely drop jaws at the event and just absolutely kill it, because I know I am going to try to. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy your weekend, and make sure you're living to strive, not to survive. See you guys next week. Peace, people.